Hi, I'm Terri Stowers. I'm the Division Director for Community and Recreation Center Services, and I'm coming to you today from the beautiful Eastway Regional Recreation Center and the Demonstration Kitchen. Today, I am going to be making my grandma's famous chicken and dumplings. This series has started because of our Department Equity Action Team. We want to introduce you to members of the Equity Action Team and also to let everyone share a little bit about what makes them unique and what their culture and the things that they want to do. So part of my culture, I was born and raised in West Virginia, and I can't think about home without thinking about my grandma's chicken and dumplings. We have a really cool thing in our family. We have a family cookbook. It's not only food, but it's also pictures and family heirlooms, recipes that have been passed down. It's a very loved cookbook, as you can see. It comes in 2 parts. But this is my Grandma Minerva's chicken and dumpling recipe. And it says on here, this recipe was taken from an article in the Logan Banner. So obviously it was a very famous if it made the local newspaper. This is a very simple recipe. I have a rule, no more than 5 ingredients, and this meets that rule. And it also serves a crowd. My grandmother had 11 children, so it was very important to her that she be able to serve a large crowd. When I got up this morning, the first thing I did was to put a whole chicken on to boil. I just put it in this pot. I added enough water to cover it. I added salt and pepper, and I just let it boil. You need to let the chicken boil until it's at an internal temperature of 160 degrees at least. I let it go for about 2 hours, and then I tested it to see if it was 160 degrees, and it was. So I've taken the chicken, and I've placed it in a separate pan so it can cool off a little bit so that we can put it in our dumplings later. So the next thing is to make the dumplings. There are 3 ingredients in the dumplings. You have your self-rising flour, your vegetable oil, and buttermilk. I do not utilize a lot of buttermilk, so I've found the best thing for me and my family is to buy the powdered buttermilk. It's really simple. This recipe calls for 2 cups of buttermilk. So I have 2 cups of warm water. And then I'm going to put 4 tablespoons per cup, so I'm going to put 8 tablespoons of buttermilk in here. And that is 8 tablespoons. Okay, so I'm stirring up the buttermilk powder into the warm water till it dissolves. And then I'm going to go to my all-purpose flour, my self-rising flour. It's very important that you get self-rising and not all-purpose flour. Now you can take all-purpose flour and turn it into self-rising flour by adding baking powder to it. But again, I only like 5 ingredients, so I take the easy way out and I just do this. Another thing, this is very messy. So if you don't like messy cooking, don't make this. Someone else could probably make it a little less messy than I do, but this is how I roll. So 4 cups of self-rising flour. All right. And then a 1/2 cup of Crisco oil. 1/2 cup. Now, nowadays people would probably use a spoon and stuff, but this is how I always saw my grandmother make dumplings, biscuits, anything. You just do it with your fingers. I make these with my granddaughters. Actually taught my sons first how to make them and then went on to my granddaughters. And this is the part that they like the best because there's nothing like messy cooking. So I'm just incorporating everything together and getting it all nice and gooey. Now, what my grandmother would do is she would make the dumplings up the night before and then put them in the refrigerator and let them get a little cold overnight, and they'd be easier to work with. I usually don't plan my meals that far ahead. So what I usually do is I will, when I get up in the morning and I put the chicken on to boil, I will then stick it in the refrigerator for a little bit just to make it a little bit cold. But since we don't have time to do this today, I probably will end up just gradually adding some more flour to it until it's stiff enough for us to work with. So again, I'm being messy. I would say I can be messy because it's my kitchen, but this isn't my kitchen, but I'll be messy anyway. So I'm just going to keep adding flour and mixing it just a little bit more until I get it to desired consistency. So while I'm getting the dumplings ready, I've got my broth over here from my cooking chicken. I need it to be boiling. So what they call a rapid boil. Oh no, I got this new oven all dirty here. Behind the camera today is Pepe. So he's back there, and what he doesn't know, he's going to have to help me clean up my mess when I get done with this. Okay, so take out about a handful, throw it over. Got me a nifty little rolling pin. Nothing too scientific about it. It says roll it to about a 1/4 inch thickness and then do about 2-inch strips. Pizza cutter. I was just home a couple weeks ago for a funeral, and the one thing that everyone looks for at the repast is the chicken and dumplings. The one thing about this is I'm dropping these into the hot chicken broth, and don't stir it. No matter how tempted you are, don't stir it. Let's see, tell you a little bit about my grandparents. Logan County, West Virginia. It's deep in the heart of coal country. My grandfather was a coal miner. My grandmother was stay at home, take care of 11 kids. I'm sure he probably had a less stressful time in the coal mines. I don't remember ever going to my grandmother's house when there wasn't food on the table. Okay, so I've got it said not to stir. I am going to dunk some of these. Oh my gosh, that's a lot, Pepe. I'm going to dunk these. I hope staff are hungry here. So those need to cook for about 10 minutes. And while they're cooking, I'm going to come over here. Got my chicken. And I am just going to cut it. Again, no special way. I'm just going to spread it out and cut it up. Man, this puppy's still a little warm. We'll cut it up a little bit. I'm just going to lay it on top. Alrighty, let's see. I think if you want to bring it over here, can you see down in the pot? This is another thing that's better the second day, I think, because after you leave it in the refrigerator overnight, it really, really thickens up. So it's good. It's very good leftovers. So there we go. That's my grandma's chicken and dumplings, actually ready to eat.